for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell a ring. If we didn't know, we'd never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline, but when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place, and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Busy governing, busy managing, busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong. So why not send them advisors home? They're sucking money like water in foam. And rehire the Imanis, less stress on the economy. You are Manchester, hold up the country. You didn't see us down by the Bury when they send SSU to between. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. So we've heard about your internal division, but some can't digest that one. Remember the man say he's an asset to the party? And will we vote you without him? You left him with Glenn alone. Maybe they cloned. And however, I foresee a pretensive unity that will mislead a lot just before the next ballot. But you guys will have to come real good, cause it's a long time Grenada ain't eat a food. You think politicians would trick us with campaign promises? We won't stay at ease, that's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. You Remember in the Bible, God had a plan for Jonah to restore Nineveh. But who will restore Grenada? Is it the same Jonah? Lots of doubt, so I'm running up my mouth. And I ain't counting no chicken before the hatch. Politicians sometimes form a crooked batch. After they get the vote, they now sing one note. But here comes Fort Judy and Nancy Payne, with $1 million house and brand new car on the scene, while our hungry belly still grumbling. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. So yellow people say, next election, not me stain that finger. Cause after we say enough from Jonah, here comes still with more pressure and hunger. And from the mouth of Grenada, only one thing I utter: the Congress neglect us, the Congress fail us. And I could never understand the distribution of the wealth. So drink your bush home if you want good health. And for real, we appreciate the free barrel, but they only come in December. So what we are do from January to November? Suck salt and drink Nawasa water. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. By the way, what will be your theme for the next campaign? It can never be about change again. And in what language are you gonna tell people to vote for NDC? In Japanese or Chinese? You better wrap up $1,000 in yellow jerseys for we, or give us everything free as in the days of NNP, or else funeral for NDC. Whatever, Grenada still belongs to we. Although enough things affect us negatively, we are still blessed by the Almighty. This poem may not be liked by you, but I know you will like this poem, for this poem is a problematic poem.
And a good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I will be with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 7 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock.
This is not politics. Please don't forget.
Yeah, we're still changing up stuff inside here. So, yeah, looking this way tonight, it might be changed by tomorrow, you know?
I'm gonna get there. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine.
So let me say a special good night to those of you on the Facebook. Let me see who's there. I'm seeing Williams Jakeem, Shoprite Duncan, Sherry Noel, Monica Roberts, good night to you. Shemi Joseph, Petra Charles, good night. And Jocelyn, good night to you. Red Girl, Winnie, good night. Lynn Joseph, good night to you. McLean Michelle, good night. Linda Imelda Francois, good night to you. Joyce Phillip, I'm seeing your message on WhatsApp, good night to you. Patrick Joseph, Joycelyn Francois, Augustin Panchu Doc, good night to you, bro. Yvonne Courtney, yeah, good night to you. Faye Fletcher, Renwick, good night to you. McQueen Leonard, good night. Denise, good night. Maria, Kenisha, Jillian, and the other Jillian, and Cynthia, Shawnell, Trisha, Kenneth, good night. Yolan, Diana, Hermione, good night to you. Marianne, is it? No, Marishan, good night to you. Ibrahim. And Ibrahim, yeah, the two Ibrahims that usually listen to the program. And all of you joining us on the Facebook, good night to all of you. Let me see over on YouTube. Public notice, good night to you, Shojan, Hermina, Doreen, and Gloria, Amanda, Beavis, Alcy, Dave, Henry, Adrian Watts, good night to you. Angie, yeah, Jacinta Livingston, good night to you, Livingston. Michelle, Alexander, Lishra, Gemma, good night to you. Agnes, April, and Barbara, good night to you. Faithlyn, Eliza, Matthew Bowen, as usual, out there in Brooklyn. Pastor Casimir, good night to you. Oswald, good night to you. Christine, Deborah, and Jackie. I'm seeing Kathleen. Yeah, I'm seeing you there. And Kathleen. I'm seeing Kester. I'm seeing the other Deborah Laborde. Good night to you. Errol, Wilma, Sherma, as usual, in early. And Gavin, good night to all of you. Yeah, I'm seeing Antonito, Alan, Tad, Yeah, see all of you joining in. A special good night to each and every one of you.
Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treat us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll lose this.
Hey Sharon, good night to you. James and Mavis, good night.
Refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration.
Yeah, hear the words of the song. They began with the blame game. Yeah.
Past administration, chief of corruption. Then
and that's exactly what we have taking place right now. People have voiced their concerns in relation to the Data Protection Bill. People have voiced and continue to voice concerns in relation to the Data Protection Bill. Yeah? We have an issue with the bill. Yeah? That some parts of the bill, some parts of that bill can be seen as breaching the constitutional rights of Grenadians. What's the excuse of the NDC? Oh, Ollie was the one that passed the bill. Even this morning, I was listening to one of them, and they sound so nonsensical and idiotic when they do these things. I was listening to one of them this morning, and they called a popular radio station, and I was hearing them, and they were speaking about, they were speaking about the bill, and they were saying, oh, the bill come from during NNP time back in 2011. 2011, they say, you know, that the bill come from NNP time back in 2011. I mean, everybody wanted NNP back in office by 2011, but the New National Party, as you know, and as I know, was not in office in 2011. Yeah? And that's a fact. And they keep repeating 2009 and 2011 and all these dates. The New National Party wasn't in office during that time. Right? So if you do a Google search, if you know what you're doing and you go online, you would find similar bills to this bill in other Caribbean territories. I've seen it for Jamaica. I've seen it for Barbados. I've seen it for Trinidad. I've seen it for, I believe it's Antigua, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember, I think St. Lucia and definitely St. Vincent. I don't think I saw one for Dominica. So there are similar bills. Now this bill, along with other bills, was sent to the different regions and so on, the different countries within the OECS. And in Grenada, in 2013, when the New National Party came in, we passed several other bills that came along with this one. This one, yeah, it was decided that more consultation was needed on this particular bill. And that was since 2013. Right? So you hear them talking now about, oh, it was in cabinet and that sort of thing. I can't say if afterwards it did come back to cabinet again, which I believe it did come back to cabinet again during the NNP time. And they said, well, okay, this is a bill that we're looking at right now. So the next stage is consultation. Send it to the Bar Association, send it to the Media Association, send it to different organizations. And then a decision can be made as to whether or not you're going forward with that bill in Parliament. Because at the point in time, remember, you have all the seats. Yeah? So it was decided that you're not going to go with that bill for several reasons. Now, the impression that the Prime Minister and several members in the NDC are giving is that these bills were drafted by the NNP. Let me make this clear. The parliamentarians don't draft the bills. You have a legal department that drafts these bills. They put them together. They look at what Belize has. They would look at what Jamaica has. And they look at other countries in the region and even outside of the region. They would look at what different states in the US have and what Britain has. And maybe as far as India and so on, what they have. And then they draft a bill to suit. In this instance, remember, it's one that was forwarded through the OECS. So they would look at others and they came up with a bill. Now, it's up now to when the parliamentarians get it, when it comes to cabinet. As I am sure this bill came to the NDC cabinet before it was placed on the order paper to look at that bill and decide, hey, certain things we would like included, certain things we would like taken out from there. So to simply come and say, well, all you that passed this bill shows a dereliction of duty on behalf of the Prime Minister as the chairman of cabinet and his entire cabinet. Because it means that they didn't look at it, they just say, run with it. We need to do this project and we need the money, so run with it. You don't operate that way. You're supposed to look over the bill. And they've been telling their supporters that the bill was around since 2011, and the supporters don't even realize that that was not an NNP administration. When this bill first came, it was in 2009. That was not the NNP. It's not the NNP was in office in 2009. Was not the NNP in office in 2011. So to simply try to paste it over, you see, every time something negative. Oh, well, this bill came under the NNP and we just passing it. Yeah? Oh, the 150 was given under NNP, but we have to stop it. So every time there's some sort of negative in relation to this administration, they try their very best to tie it into the New National Party. To either blame the New National Party or say the New National Party used to do that. Every time there's something negative, they try their very best to put it on. They try their very best to put it on to the New National Party and blame the New National Party for whatever it is. And I'm saying it's time that they grow up. Grow up, seriously. Stop trying to blame everybody for your own mistakes. Just admit you've made a mistake. You're willing to try and solve the problem, the concerns that people have with the issue, and address it. But instead, it's just blame. Just try to blame the NNP. I was looking online. Unfortunately, there was that accident yesterday morning with the Prime Minister's official car. And yes, it is the Prime Minister's official car, not the Governor General's. Because it's the coat of arms that's on it. The thing at the front there on the license plate, yes, the coat of arms that was on it is the official vehicle of the Prime Minister, was in a traffic accident yesterday. You see some NDC people online. I don't know if these people and them, I don't know what was in that transformation water that they drink. But you see these people trying to blame the NNP for that, you know. What politics had to do with that? Obviously, there was some reckless driving on behalf of somebody. I wasn't there. I don't know. I can't say that it was person A or person B. I can't say who was driving. But there was some, for that to happen, there was some reckless driving on behalf of someone. Last week, we spoke about the situation with reckless driving here in Grenada. We spoke about that for an extended period of time. The people are driving in the night with the high beam on in your eye and they wouldn't dim it. The people are speeding everywhere they go. They're going just in a shop around the corner, speed. They're going just down by the pass, speed. Everywhere they're going, and they want to take over all the vehicles. To the point of where last week, and I was telling you all that, I was on a bus last week, and I saw a situation where a truck, a Delta truck, it broke the traffic and take over about 4 vehicles at a crossing in front of a school. A crossing in front of a school, a private school, that you always have children going across. And he didn't look left, he didn't look right, he didn't care. He just overtake. The bus that I was on and about 3 vehicles in front of that. Right on a school crossing. In front of a school. That's the sort of madness that we have taking place on our roads. And for it to extend now to that the head of government finds himself in an accident says a lot about what is going on our roads. And it is an issue, definitely, that the Royal Grenada Police Force has to look at. We've been seeing a significant number of accidents. But you know what they do? They come and they try to blame the New National Party for that now, as if NNP in office now. So they're trying to blame the New National Party. You, as Minister of National Security, the Prime Minister, has not come out and made a speech or a strong, serious, comforting statement in relation to national security here in Grenada. Every other week you're finding guns on the port or somebody shooting in the air somewhere, or they're finding illegal guns. Nearly every week they're finding illegal guns here. Every single week. And when the time comes for us to be reassured that even though this is taking place, that we are safe, you're not hearing anything. You're not hearing a single thing in relation to that. Yeah? That's what we want to hear. What is taking place? What is taking place to safeguard us, the Grenadian people? What is being done to make sure that not only us but our families are safe out there? So that coming up to the Easter, we don't see a spate of crimes as we saw coming up to the Carnival, to the Christmas. And coming up to the Carnival, we don't see a spate of crime as we saw coming up to the Christmas. We need some reassurance. Last time we spoke about it on a Thursday night, about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock the Friday morning, media start to get messages that the police having a press conference and so. But it's madness taking place on our nation's road. All of us using the road, we're seeing what's going on. But then instead of addressing that issue, you have the minions out there trying to blame the new National Party for what's going on. The only blame the new National Party could take is that it put money in enough people's pocket that was able to afford a vehicle. That's the only blame I think the new National Party could take. Because we all remember the 1990s when we could have played cricket in the road. I used to play cricket in the road right there in Springs, and let me say good night to TBK. Because they say I ain't saying good night. Hey, Merrill? They say I ain't saying good night to my area. I ain't saying good night to Springs. Good night, Springs! Good night, Merrill. And the whole TBK squad. Yeah. So, I used to play cricket in the road in Springs. But you can't do that now. The volume of vehicles, the volume of people with the ability to purchase vehicles have increased. So now you can't play cricket. Most of the places where guys used to play cricket in the road, we have to move it to the playing fields and the pasture and them are wrong right now because we can't play in the road as we used to. Because those days you didn't have that volume of vehicles. So you could afford to get a couple overs before a vehicle pass, especially on a Sunday or a public holiday. No, you can't take that chance. You can't even try that. Dead man walking. Can't do that. So if you want to give New National Party blame for what's going on the roads right now, that's the only blame you could give the New National Party. That more people became economically empowered and were therefore able to purchase vehicles. And that's not the only blame game. You have the faith program. And I know, like, they feel that somehow, we would be afraid to speak about something like the faith program. But the faith program, you had all of these people working under that program in nearly all the schools around the island. You discontinue, you send home all these people, and you refuse to pay the people who run the program so that they can pay the people under the program. And when you calculate how many people were under the program and how much government was paying on a monthly basis, you could see where every single dollar went. In fact, you have to wonder why the people in faith program didn't request more, because how it was going, they were basically making nothing or next to nothing. But still, they refused to pay the people, then they start to blame the NNP. Let them pay all you. It's the NNP that hire all you. Let it pay all you. I ain't paying. And who want to take us to court, take us to court. And he's saying this, not understanding. That's the Prime Minister's actions, And they're saying that, not understanding, or probably they are understanding and they just don't care, that this is poor people, women with children who run their own household. In other words, there's not a male in the household except for their male children, who have to pay their electricity bill and other utility bills, who have to provide food. They're the chief breadwinner. They were sent home, and no opportunity has been created since the NDC came in office for employment for these people. In fact, the only employment opportunities that have been created since the NDC came in office is for their close friends and relatives. Not even the rank and file NDC supporters, because a lot of them went home with the faith program too. They feel it was only NNP people that sent home with the faith program. A lot of the people that went home under that program voted for the NDC. Quote unquote, they vote out their work. And they'll tell you that. And I'm going to take the calls from earlier. I'm taking the calls. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hey, Shed, what's up?
Hey, I'm good, brother.
Listen, I wanted to play, I don't know if you have the clip where the representative from St. John spoke so disrespectfully in the House. I thought when this thing happened, the Speaker of the House must straighten up this thing. He tried to attack Peter. But he should attack Peter, he should attack the young lady who was speaking so disrespectfully and using all kind of indecent language in the parliament. I mean, this is not a fish market. I mean, you could just do your own thing.
Yeah. Watch. Fish market is nice place, and them ladies
so
and them
you
is
could
nice
call,
people.
if you could play the clip for us, if you could get it, please.
Okay, all right.
All right?
Not tonight, but I'll get it.
I'll get a call later.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, I'll get that clip. Not tonight, but I'll get it, because to get it now would take a process that I can't do while I'm on air, so I'll get it. Nice. Yeah, I'm saying that every single thing they want to blame the NNP for. So you have these people who are working in the faith program, yeah, single mothers, who since last year have been home and they received the money for the last period of time that they work. And then you want to blame faith program for not paying them when you didn't pay faith program to pay them. And they refuse to tell you that the same faith program they're talking about is one of the only properly registered companies here in Grenada as a faith-based organization. Their documents in order. There are many of them that are running around claiming to be faith-based and NGO and all kind of thing. And if you go on your check with government, these people are either not properly registered, have not been paying their yearly dues or so, have not been having their meeting of the directors and providing a financial report and a report to the government of Grenada as they're supposed to be doing. You can't even say who some of the people on the board. Yeah? But meanwhile, the one that is constituted properly and doing what they're supposed to do, they attack them as soon as they come in for nothing but nasty political reasons. That's it, just to be nasty. We in charge now. So if they go home, that's their business. That's the type of behavior. Say, saw the attack on the faith and then blame it now. Well, it's NNP that they hire all you. Let them pay all you. That is not the case. It's the government of Grenada. Sometimes, under certain things, they know government is a continuum. When it comes to other things, they don't know government is a continuum. So they come and they attack these people and they send them home. That's the sort of behavior that we get from the NDC administration. That's the sort of attitude. They're doing things, and then when they get pushed back in relation to it, they blame the New National Party. So now they're getting pushed back on this bill. Number one, they barely want to go in Parliament in the first place. Secondly, when they go in Parliament, up to this date, I can't say that I paid full attention to yesterday's Parliament sitting, but has anyone heard a report by a minister on the ministry that they're in charge of during the Parliament? During the time of the NNP, ministers or parliamentary secretaries would stand and give a report on the ministry that they are in. They would take a few minutes and speak on the ministry that they are in. What are some of the new initiatives? What is taking place there? And what people can become involved in? New things that are being put in place, projects that and money that has been secured. So you would hear a minister stand up and say, well, due to a trip that we went to France, to this particular conference, Grenada was able to secure 2 million euros towards that program. But now, you see, Parliament, they're just going inside there and then feel they could just talk to Dr. Mitchell and the members of the New National Party team as they want. So the caller just mentioned the member of Parliament for St. John. Very disrespectful. Because if you have to show achievement, your only achievement is winning a seat if you really win it. But winning a seat, that is it. Your only achievement. You've done nothing for St. John. St. John people can't see you. And by the way, Quartz Grenada Limited is looking for somebody that you know very well. You might need to tell the tall and Quartz Grenada Limited looking for them. Nice. I just thought I would tell you that. Nice. Yeah, because they're trying to find and they can't find anything. Yeah. Nice. Good. But anyhow, do ask how I know that now, I'm telling you. Yeah, Quartz Grenada Limited, they're looking for them. Yeah. So they go in Parliament. They can't say they do anything for the people of St. John except win. Nothing for the people of St. John's. But they go there and they want to play the talking down to people. They for themselves talking a pile of stupidness, they don't understand the bill. And talking about if you read the bill. They didn't read it. Or if they read it, they didn't understand it. Because if they understood it, they would have understood that in the context that we are in right now, such discretionary powers to a minister, such as a minister having the powers to decide, a minister, to decide, not a judge, not a magistrate, the minister deciding if an offense is really an offense. So you have a law that's making an offense, a law that's making an offense, and then you're giving the minister the power, the discretionary powers now, to decide under this circumstance that is not an offense. Yeah? You have Ron Redhead. Instead of he stand up and talk about where's the number of the vehicle, PAW, something. Yeah, he could have used time at the end of Parliament and speak on it. Yes, he can speak on it in Parliament. He could have spoken on the adjournment. And he could have on personal business and give an explanation there. And by the way, they say joint statement. I ain't seen no joint statement yet. The only joint I see is when I was passing down a certain area, I see two Rasta man with one. That's the only joint statement I see. I ain't seen no joint statement yet. What happened? I thought all they say joint statement coming out. When the joint statement coming out? Yeah? Maybe they had to hit a joint first before they come and talk about joint statement. We're still waiting on the joint statement. Again, all you don't understand what people within, and you heard it, he read it. Yeah? He read it. You read it in the New Today, yeah. Where he was saying that all people in the NDC that are spreading it. So he's telling you that there are people in the NDC that don't like him. Well, at least he was telling George Worm that maybe we weren't supposed to know. But George Worm make sure he put it inside there. So now the people who Ron is referring to know very well that he been out there speaking about them. So, the relationship ain't going to be too nice after that. But that is the situation that is taking place with that organization. That is what we're hearing from him himself. That there are people inside there that have been spreading it, attacking him, that kind of thing. Yeah, he didn't say people in the NNP, That was no typo, It's people in the NDC that have been doing that to him. But again, they go blame NNP. They go blame NNP. Anything negative happens with this government, they try to blame NNP. They send two incompetent ministers. I don't know if it's Toes and Andy. I don't know if it's Andy and Toes. But two incompetent ministers they send over to Barbados and lose over 70 million for the Western Main Road project. A very important project. Ask the people who live on the West Coast. Buses don't want to run after a certain hour because of the up and down through Mount Moritz and all of that, and the rigmarole to come back through. You have to go to the entrance to Molinier and come wrong and all of that. They just can't take it. You run that 5-6 times for the day. Someday you don't want to do it again. So by the time you see 7 o'clock on the terminal, and we have some stuff to talk about to the terminal just now. By the time you go to the terminal about 7 o'clock, and sometimes even before that, because I was around there a little before 4, and that was the situation, no bus there, and pile of people stand up. Again, you hear the Prime Minister speaking about, highway to go up there. You know how much money that's going to cost? You have to, first of all, anybody land you take, you have to pay for it. So the government had to pay for that. You can't just take people land and decide you ain't doing it. If If you're doing a highway, means you have to widen the road. So some people who have houses close to the end of the road, those houses would have to be removed, right? You might even have graveyards that are close to the road that have to be, some people might have to be relocated and all of that. It's not just an easy matter we're doing that, because the only other option, if you're going to do that in that way, is you have to cut down the rainforest. Yeah? But they went lose over 70 million for that Western Corridor project. Lose 70 million, you know. They went there. They were unimpressive. They did not have the negotiating skills to retain the money for the state of Grenada. Yeah? 70 million. Not EC, yeah? Not EC. Over 70 million US for that Western Corridor project. They lost it. Then what they do, they come back and blame the NNP. If you know you came into office, the project is in train, you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You have certain things you have to do. And you have to do that within a certain space of time. You didn't do it. How is the NNP to blame? You know you had to do it. Because the people who are providing the financing, the UK government, they knew of COVID. They know the challenges that Grenada had. And the last administration was able to negotiate with them and get extra time for that project. And so you all come in, you go, and who knows, they probably went there and started to blame NNP. That's what they probably went and do to the Englishmen, and they might say, but what is little children they send up here? They probably went to them in England and started to blame the NNP. And these people say, well, now, are they serious for you to come here and make a case for the money? Or they're trying to blame the last administration and they pull the money and go? Who knows? But again, it's just blame, blame, blame. For them to focus on getting the job done. You take $150 from poor people in this country. $150. When you for yourself say that they deserve more than it, you take away, you ain't add to say you're bringing it up to how much you believe they should get. You take out from how much they get in. And when they backlash at you, you come and you start to say, well, is the NNP to blame? Then he tries to use his legal expertise to come and lie to the Grenadian people. Yes, the Prime Minister lied to the Grenadian people by coming on and saying, oh, because apparently he's trying to twist it now about the horizontal and the vertical. So he came now fully knowing that one is horizontal, one is vertical, and trying to twist the entire thing in relation to the issue of that money that was there in the budget for people. You know how much people still suffering because of this thing right now? How much people that can't buy medication? I hear the stories on a daily basis. Yeah, I hear the stories on a daily basis of people that can't buy the medication. And I keep saying, hit me up in the inbox. Don't be afraid to message me in the inbox. Let me know of those people who are in the 80s, the 90s and over, even if they're in the 60s, or even if they're younger and they're disabled and so on. Yeah, there are people that are willing to help. We'll investigate, make sure that they're proper, and then we will be willing to find ways to help, to assist. And when we did interview Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell a few weeks ago, he did indicate that the New National Party as an organization is also looking at ways of assisting people who are suffering right now. So whether it's to help people in relation to preparation to get jobs and so on, or other means, they're going to have some discussions and they will be coming to the Grenadian people with some projects of how they're going to assist people. Even though you're not in government, you mightn't have money, physical money to give people, but you will find ways and means of assisting people. But this is what is going on. So I hope people take the opportunity, because when I was coming here, I did hear the Minister of Health speaking about all kinds of things. I want to find out from the Minister of Health, if anybody there is listening here, I want them to ask the Minister about the lack of medication and what is causing it. Is it that the cost of medication is too high and they didn't budget enough money for it? Is it that the government hasn't made the payments that they're supposed to make to the regional body so that they can get medication in a timely manner? Is it that the medication is just not available? Let the Grenadian people know. But when you let the Grenadian people know why there is a shortage, and don't try to give us the impression that there's no shortage, because you would damn lie. There's a shortage of medication. Just admit it. So don't come and try about you don't know. You know, that's a favorite word next to blame NNP right now is I don't know. So it's either blame NNP or I don't know. Don't try that. There's a shortage of medication. There's a shortage of items to be used for surgeries. You have only, I could tell you only have large gloves now. You don't even have the smaller ones. Large gloves for when you're going and do surgery. I could tell you that. I know that. That's a fact. So don't try to tell us no. I'm saying that you all need to let us know what has caused this problem, what you are doing to solve this problem, and thirdly, what you are doing to ensure this problem does not occur again. Yeah? So what you are doing to solve the problem, first admit and let us know what caused the problem. And you know they will come and blame NNP again. So what caused the problem? Let us know what you are doing to address the problem and what you are doing to ensure that the problem does not occur again. Because you're playing with people's lives here. When you have women, I don't know if that problem has been solved. No, I haven't heard back from some of the ladies. Couldn't do a pap smear. You had to know some stuff, did something wrong. We have a call online. Oh boy, lost that call. You have to know that something is wrong. When women can't do a simple pap smear, an important exam for women. I don't know if the situation has changed now and they get the reagents so that they can do that. When people have to get blood tests and other tests and you can't get it done at the hospital, you have to go to a private entity. When children are going for their booster at the health center and can't get their booster for them to start school in September, you have to know that we have a problem. Is the problem that the communication between the health center and down to the pharmaceutical stores or whatever it is broken so that it is down there but nobody call and say that they need? Tell us. We want to know. But don't tell us there is no problem. And while you're at it, tell us what happened to the examination tables and so that was sent by the Nurses Association up there in New York. That was supposed to go to the Hermitage Medical Station that never arrived. The blood pressure machine that was supposed to go there that came into Grenada. When I say never arrived at the Hermitage Station. They came into Grenada. These items came into Grenada. The examination table, the blood pressure machine and other items listed, named for Hermitage Medical. So Hermitage people and people in St. Patrick and on the border down there in St. Andrew that sometimes have to use that facility from time to time. So they ain't good enough for those kind of thing? So something wrong with Hermitage people? And Tivoli people who sometimes end up having to go up there if there's something with the health center there? Something wrong with them? That ain't good enough for them? So you take it and send it somewhere else and up to now, it can't be found? That's the kind of thing that we just allowing and it just passes nothing? No, we have to address these issues. There are many issues in health that have to be addressed. And these are just some of the issues. But again, they're just continually blaming NNP. Just blaming NNP. And then, when it comes to other things that NNP did, they want to blame NNP for the good things, you know. So you take somebody messaged it to me a while ago. There's one of the programs. Let me see. Yeah. The bathroom and toilet program. They continuing the bathroom and toilet program, you know. They change the name now to WASH. Water Access and Sanitation in Homes. So they change the name. Papa. They changed the name of the program. The bathroom and toilet program. I like that name. WASH. The Water Access and Sanitation in Homes. Yeah? But that is not a new program. That is the same program they was talking down to when the New National Party was going around and doing bathroom and toilets for people around the island. That is how many people got the dignity of having indoor bathroom and toilet, was through that program. But the NNP just said bathroom and toilet program. They changed, they give it a fancy name. So they give it a fancy name so that the supporters could go and say, you don't see this new initiative by the government, we're calling it WASH. That is not new, it's been there before, and that's what they've been doing with several of the programs that the New National Party had there before. All they're doing is they're giving them new names. So they're naming them differently, and they're coming with those programs again, and then they have some of the supporters calling different radio programs and going online and attack people and say all kind of thing, and saying, oh, NNP didn't do nothing, but there's a new program. I'll put up the first 9 months of the NNP in 2013. I will put up against the first 9 months of the NDC right now. And it's chalk and cheese. Two totally different things. Because you know, by now, we are talking about 3,000 people who were previously unemployed, were engaged. And we're not speaking about the people in the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation whose salaries are in the region of 5,000, or if you don't know, 5,000, 7,000, 8,000 and above. Yes, in that Ministry of Implementation and Transformation, which is why they refuse to pass that information on when the opposition leader asks for it. And I think we have a caller online. Good night, caller.
Good night, Sheldon. You know, this thing, or what you're talking about, the programs there, you know, is like, you know, you have the WWE wrestling and the new one come out, the AEW wrestling. You know, they have wrestlers going from one league to another and they're just changing names, yeah? It's the same people, but they just have a different name because, you know, it does not, you know, they don't want their name to go on the other one. So just doing this foolish thing, you know. But they're failing, the whole thing is that they're failing to develop on their own. You have to try to develop on your own. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to develop on your own. If I cannot develop on my own, I'm a failure. Yeah, that is what is going on. The same thing from Imani last time, the youth empowerment or whatever it was being called. This is the same thing. Yeah?
Yes.
It's just the same thing. We have to try to be creative. Yeah? You have to learn to be creative. We cannot be riding on someone's back all the time. Yeah? So I don't know what the name of the wardens is going to be now. Would they be changing the name of the wardens?
Well, I don't know. They could change the names. That's all they're doing. You see, again.
Yeah?
And let me say this to you, my friend. I said it last night, and I don't know if much people picked up on what I said. The NDC believes they have a PR problem, a public relations problem. They believe their problem is that if they give the impression that they're working, if they give the impression that they're starting new things, if they give the impression that they're doing so much, that the pressure that's on them now will ease up. But the PR is not a problem. The empathy, the sympathy, the caring about people is the problem. They don't care about nobody but themselves. That is how they could hire people in the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation at salaries of 3,000. Well, not 3,000 might be the cleaner, but people inside there working for salaries of 5,000 and above. I tell you, I know I'm saying, people inside there working for $5,000 and above in that ministry. And remember, it's a ministry that was created. The people inside there have been placed on contract. Remember they say no contract work? You know all the people that they bring inside there on contracts?
Yeah, boy.
2-year contracts.
We just have to sit back, we just have to sit back and just give them the space until such time. You know, that's what I can say on this one. Yeah. Have a blessed night, my friend.
Okay, my brother. Yeah. And then I was looking at the town hall a little earlier. And I'm trying to figure out, is it Government of Grenada Town Hall or is it an NDC Town Hall? Because I know seeing some kind of things taking place there. So I'm wondering, because I know last week, the NDC, National Democratic Congress, had a meeting with several young people in relation to a small business loan program. And they had that meeting in the south of the island, Granans Valley area down there. Down by the, yes, they had it down there. Yeah? They didn't open it out. And remember, the money that they're using in that program are not funds that are coming out of the National Democratic Congress. The funds for the program that they were telling these NDC young people about are funds that are coming out of the consolidated fund. In other words, taxpayer money. But instead of having something where they went out to everybody and said, hey, we have this program, monies are available, and we need you all to apply. This is how you apply. This is what you need to apply, and so on. They take the NDC youth alone. They bring them down there, and they tell them how to apply for the money. They tell them what to do to get that money. And they basically guarantee to them that they would receive that money. Once they complete the process, they would receive that money for their projects. Meanwhile, other young people with brilliant ideas sit down out there and they know nothing about that. They could come and tell me they care about Grenada or they care about you. Yeah, then they go blame somebody again. Blame somebody for that too. Yeah? Let me see what they had there. Yeah, oh, so buses from all over they have at the town hall. Well, and people in the NDC t-shirts and thing. Well, what do you expect? You hear them last night, yesterday in the parliament? They believe they could do anything. Yeah, Teflon run. Who believe nothing can stick to him. Yeah, so he could do contracts for playing fields and whatever, and building awards or whatever. He could do that out of a constituency office. And he could have open conversation on the internet with people about if you're looking for one of the contracts and thing link and who to link and them kind of thing. No, the Prime Minister never come back. Never. And that is why he's not putting himself in front of the media. You see what he do? He go and he have a meeting today and understand the politics here. He goes where he's safe, where he believes he's safe. So he goes in his own constituency, among his own people, and he rammed the place full of NDC supporters. So people who don't support the NDC, not necessarily NNP supporters, just people who may be apolitical, people who don't support no political party, or people who don't support the NDC and support the NNP, might feel uncomfortable to go there. So that he could. You see, that's because they feel they have a PR problem. We have a caller. Good night.
Hello, good night, Charlotte.
Good night. How are you?
I'm okay.
Let me up your volume a little bit.
Hello?
No, just upping your volume a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. I say good night to you and the listening and your public, My concern, Charlotte, this bill, is it an attack on the Magna Carta? No, any bill which infringes on the right of the citizens of any country, especially Grenada, we must be very concerned. Cannot allow this bill to go to sleep. Because when you have an infringement on your rights as a citizen, in our 1974 Constitution, we are guaranteed 17 basic and fundamental rights. These are rights that we do not have to fight for. These are rights that are being guaranteed to us. And we must ensure that we stand firm and we make this government know when they are infringing on our rights. Dr. Francis Alexis, a renowned constitutional lawyer, in the Bob report on Sunday, he was very concerned about Article 33 and 44 of that bill. Our people must pay attention to what is happening to us. I see you listened to Mr. Telesford yesterday, the Honorable Minister for Southeast St. George.
Yes, I did, yeah.
and he was reading from a written script, a prepared script, and like the script was not prepared by him, because in reading he continued to make mistakes, and therefore, to me and what I saw, that script was prepared, and it was not an original script from Mr. Telesford, but his contribution was one that was prepared for him to speak upon. The month of March in Grenada is Revolution Month, you know. Fedo, Gary, Morris Bishop, March, you know, everything took place in the month of March. And if they are invoking the spirit of Morris Bishop, we must be careful that there might be some infringements on our rights as citizens. However, during the revolution of 1979, the Constitution was suspended. We are not living in this period any longer. I am making an appeal to all my NNP colleagues. Be prepared. Let's keep the torch of the NNP alive. The new National Party, with its 6 elected members, is a government in waiting. And we must pay particular attention, and we must give full support to all the candidates who participated in the last general election, victorious or not. But they are the leaders in our constituency. We must stand by them. We must know what is happening. We must contribute to everything that the NNP is doing and ensure that our party, the government in waiting, is well and alive. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Yes, indeed. 44073. Yeah, you can call at any time. 4407377. Yeah, some people commenting. Yeah, we're changing up the setting, man. Don't worry. Yeah. Yes, we're changing up piece by piece. And you know, while they're calling people in relation to that, how many young people have you all seen gain employment under the NDC? And has it balanced off all the people that they have been firing left, right, and center? You know how many people that were doing security contracts have lost their contracts and all their workers had to go home? I hear. Let's take this call. I hear what's going on with the complex too, you know. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Sheldon Scott.
I know about to talk about something there with you, you know.
And good night to the Grenadian people, home and abroad, all who's listening, America, England, Canada, Japan, all about. Good night. My name is Samuel Teresa Scott. Sheldon Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
A day on the bus terminal about 15 years. About 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
As a tenant. Right? And they always, I support authority, they always want for the stress coming, but I are strong and I'm fighting till I'm dead. You know what they do today? You know what they did to the vendors and the terminals?
I hear, I see.
Management give every one of us a letter today. A letter. Management. The port authority give us a letter. But I'll say again too, it damn good. It damn good. You know why? I want the listeners to say why I say it damn good. I remember the woman I used to was the manager there, Miss Andrews. She retired now. That lady used to give me letters upon letters that I cannot sell. The little candy, me hana blogo, me hana fig, a bag of orange, a bag of lime. And that lady used to shop from me. She used to buy me plantain, me blogo, me fig, me sweet potato. She used to buy it from me. And I know she's a strong NDC supporter. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
They give all of us a letter today. The people that selling the little fried chicken. The lady I want 4 buckets of chicken seasoned up. 4 buckets of chicken. They bring this letter and they tell them they can't fry. All the rest of people are selling fried chicken and food. They cannot fry nothing they again to make our money, to pay the rent, to pay the water bill. Oh God, and this year you have to fall. Are you have to go down? Are you in Mali West? Costco take you. I don't worry about me much because I could put me on a blogger and me counter. And the Grenadian people know what I have. Mr. Scott, give me a little time.
No, talk, Cammy,
The
talk.
Grenadian people know what I have. When they want a good brand, they want a clock, they just come. So I don't must put it outside. They go come and buy. But a little tray with sweetie and biscuit. Every parent's children that pass, I give them a candy, I give them a pack of biscuit. They say nobody not supposed to sell outside. Nobody not supposed to sell outside. But if we had unity, and that was terminal over the years, they could not try that. Me alone that does make noise. Mr. Scott, me alone that does make noise. When they dirty, when I say it's time to wash down the terminal, when it's time to sanitize, to kill all them drum and roach, they. So now, all the tenants on the bus terminal, they don't know where they are. Nobody can put nothing outside to sell. And it will affect a lot of the vendors that renting a booth on the terminal. Because when they put all the little things, they go make a money. Somebody go see when you display what little things you have. Somebody come and buy. Brendan feeling it. Little man go feel it. Miss Maggie, we got making the sandwich and frying chicken bake. Sharon and the Jolly First booth. It go affecting all these people. So I thank God it's not Mr. Mialon because they start to be drum today. When they realize they give people letter, they start us me alone. You understand? And hear what they tell them. Hear what they tell us. Everybody had to close the terminal for 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, all booth must close. Mr. Scott, management and the bus terminal. You have Grenadians that are on the terminal right now that have to go to Victoria and hotels to get bus. For management to organize to get bus to bring the workers home, they're studying about who's selling burger, who's selling fried chicken on the terminal. Well, you know what I want to tell the workers and the vendors? We got to sell marijuana.
Yeah,
We got to sell marijuana there.
All right.
We got to sell marijuana to pay the bills. You hear? Because all busman and police smoking weed. All busman and police smoking weed. All busman and police smoking weed. So if we can sell a pasta, sweet potato, and 2 plantain, we got to sell weed to pay your water bill, send with children to school. You hear? We have to do these things to send with children to school. And if we can, if me and all the rest of vendors can pay with bill, them and the terminal and in the main office and the carnage, they will able to pay the bill too. Trust me. I do like candle for election, I like it candle too. If all you don't want we as Grenadians to make an honest dollar, Dick Mitchell and your gang, if all you don't want us to make a dollar, a lot of Grenadians will not make. Are you taking advantage and for people? And I go tell you, half of the vendors and the terminals NDC supporters, you might have about 3 or 4 NDC supporters that have booth on the bus terminal. I am telling you that. The second booth, the biggest booth there, them is strong NDC. All of them going down for the head zone NDC. So I thought was Miss Camille Theresa Scott as the only NNP that have all NNP sign on the booth. That is, they just say, no, are you wait? Take the weight. Take the weight. And the thing make you to drink. Take the transformation in all your tail. Take it in all your tonight again. I thought I was in trouble. The amount of years Miss Hazard, they on that terminal. The amount of years Little Man. The amount of years Brendan. The amount of years we there. And if we didn't pay rent, they'd have thrown us out. And you have to change the policy. The policy all you have. And I don't want nobody to put up that table. And you have to change the policy. And what we must do, we mustn't pay rent for this month. Don't pay no rent. If you have a belly, don't pay no rent. They must give us time to get place if they want to taught everybody. Or it's a bad night. And I go see trouble. And the teacher want us listen and call Shaggy. You bread butter on the both sides, but start to say your praise, eh? Start to say your praise. And Pastor Simon, start to say your praise. Go in sackcloth and ash. Good night, Grenada.
All right. Thank you very much, Cami. And folks, I've put up one of the notices that went out to the people on the bus terminal today. Yeah, this is one of the pages of the notices that went out there, right? And I'm I'm wondering, really and truly, considering the situation, just say plain out. Just say to people like Cami and all the other people on the terminal, Brendan and all of them, just say to them, hey, right now, we want them boot on them because we have people to put in it. People on we tail, they're harassing us since we come into office to get rid of all you because they want to come in there and we had to get rid of. Just say that to the people. Don't give them this kind of nonsense and so. Yeah? Okay, you have a lease agreement, you have things. Now, listen. People have lease agreements and they adjust it, they change it around over a period of time as things develop. You realize when it comes to food in the town of St. George, your options are very limited. Yeah? Your options are very limited. You go by Dana's, and believe me, inside by Dana's right now is like you're in Manhattan or some kind of thing. Inside there, top class, right? So you're inside there. If not there, where you have? You might get a roti by Chucky or something, right? Outside of there, where really you have to get a proper KFC? Where else you have? So if somebody have a grab and go snack on the terminal and so, and how they are doing it is safe, I don't see the reason behind it. Yes, that was in the original lease agreement from many years ago. This is 2023. What you need to do is have a consultation with the vendors on the terminal, understanding that now you have an increased volume of people using the terminal and all of that. And maybe you have to adjust various aspects of the agreement. But don't pull an agreement from how much years ago and try to slap people. Even laws, you update laws from time to time. You have laws that date back to the 1970s and all kind of thing, and you try to update it because times have changed, things have changed, so you need to update. I remember years ago there was the National Censorship Board and them kind of thing. And they weren't talking about things like digital media. So you had to update, you had to come up to thing. You had to make sure in your e-crime legislation that you had things like child pornography and those kind of things, which were not things that existed in the law here in Grenada before. That when we did the e-legislation bills, that was something that we put in place so that anybody holding these things, you could take them to court and that kind of thing. Let's take this caller. Yes, I still have it up. I want people to see exactly what they've been doing to the people on the bus terminal there. We have a caller on. Oops, my bad. Hi, good night.
Good night. Could these people and them hold a meeting with the vendors at the bus terminals? I think the first thing they should have done is to hold a meeting with all the vendors in the bus terminals. Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, well, I also think that's the direction they should have gone. I think that's the direction they definitely should have gone. Yeah? So, I mean, yeah, you have a you have a lease agreement. You find people breaching it. There must be a reason they're breaching it because there's a need. Yeah? There's a need. You don't have no pile of place in town. Most places in town is to go and buy clothes and little brick-brack and thing for home, you know. They have no pile of places selling food in town. Yeah? So if somebody is selling a quick snack or something out of the place to make $1 to pay the same terminal, before you reach to this stage to try to stop the person from doing a business that they're doing right now, that is giving them the money in their pocket to pay you. I pass by Cami all the time. Cami's business is not obtruding, it's not blocking anybody, obstructing anybody from going to or from the buses. Nobody can say where she is in the corner that she blocking anybody. But you're saying she can't put out this and she can't put out that. And then when the time comes, the same people are coming. They want the money wrong at the end of the month. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm quite fine. How are you?
I am doing good.
Good now, Doc.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me make sure I say Dr. Pancho. And next thing people feel is Dr. Micheladi.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to make sure that you differentiate the doctors.
Yes, sir.
Tonight you started the program and you spent a considerable amount of time talking about the current government and their ability or the penchant for the blame game, not taking responsibility for their actions. They lost $76 million and then they turn around and blame the previous administration, the NNP, for that loss of the money. They came with a bill that showed that it has many things wanting, many areas of improvement and modification, and the current prime minister became so angry and yesterday so angry, claiming and blaming the NNP and cabinet for previously approving a bill for discussion. So you know what we do psychologically? What we do, Sheldon, we blame other people when we should take responsibility, and it sometimes stems from an inability to feel confident and comfortable with your own decision. People who are very confident in themselves and their understanding and their decision-making skills, they tend to take responsibility for their actions. And it is that kind of an insecurity that we are seeing with this current group of administrators. They are bent. They are so inept, and what's my word? They are so inept that they have no other choice but to blame other people and circumstances for their failure and their inability to deliver good on their promises. And I just wanted to say this piece. Sheldon, permit me just a few moments to talk on an aspect of education for our people that I saw while I listened. I did not capture the entire proceeding yesterday because it wasn't really a debate. It was a reading. But I want to highlight a few things that are very bothersome and very, very unkind I want to put my words simple tonight. The disrespect for the leader of the opposition, and it's not just Dr. Mitchell that is being disrespected, but throughout the reading, there were comments and innuendos that were directed at the opposition that seek to belittle them, to make fun of them, and to castigate and relish those. You know, the behaviors of some of the members of the current government, Sheldon. I see many people writing and say, oh, these were childish behaviors, etc. Let me tell you this. I have a different spin on this one, Sheldon. Sheldon, not all children are that disrespectful. So we cannot say that the behaviors were childish or they were, they are children. I know, sometimes we tend to think children are thoughtless or very careless in the behaviors and choice of decisions. But let me tell you what came out there yesterday, Sheldon. It's a kind of a arrogant, disrespectful behavior that you get from people who, even though they were trained or disciplined by their parents or the grandparents, whomever the caregiver was, have now chosen a path of disregard, lack of empathy, lack of understanding, lack of civility, and just totally disrespectful, and they seem to enjoy the juvenile, delinquent behaviors that they are now exhibiting. And it's bothersome. It's bothersome. Let me say this here. I don't need to talk about the legacy of the leader of His Majesty opposition. I don't. Grenada, the world has embraced the legacy of Dr. Mitchell. So that's a fact. And we don't, tonight is not the forum for that. But what I'm saying is that just human respect for people as they speak, respect for authority. And let me finally say, Sheldon, there is a piece here that I must add. And that is the emotional maturity of those who were making disparaging comments while members of the opposition were presenting yesterday. There is something in political science and sociology that says, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And Sheldon, what we saw there yesterday was a display of people who never thought that they would have had that kind of a political power and authority. And now they have tasted that power and that authority. It is as though it is getting into their heads and making them superhuman and giving them a sense of invincibility so they can chide the elders. They can remove $150 from single parents and hurting people. They can apply for and receive $2.3 million when they owe almost all of Grenada. They can sell vehicles that were never theirs, given to them. These are the kind of behaviors. So when you see the exhibition of certain behaviors and you go into Parliament, the most sacred decision-making environment of our country when it comes to leadership, when you go there and you display these kinds of behaviors, it speaks a lot about you as a person. And I just needed to say that here.
All right. Thank you so very much, Doc. Hello? Oh, you don't
Yes,
yeah, I'll say thank you so very much.
You are welcome.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, folks, we're speaking with Dr. Panchu there. And before I forget, let me just say to those of you up in St. Mark, His Majesty's Opposition Leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, he will be having a meeting tomorrow along with the Honorable Dr. Modest, and that's going to be taking place at the Bonaire Government School from 6 p.m. All right, they're going to be discussing several issues there, including the passing of the bill and other issues. All right, so that is taking place tomorrow at the Bonaire Government School, and it's starting from 6 p.m. All right, nice. So Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Dr. Modest, yeah, they're going to be there speaking, so you can go on out and join with them. We have a caller online. Good night.
Hello, Sheldon. Good night.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Well, a little bit of scattered showers now.
Of course. So you go right ahead.
Yes, Sheldon. Dr. Pancho touched some in what I had said, but I will just re-emphasize my point. And this is how I view it. Now, as a young man growing up, I learned that when a man or men or women is unlettered, I am not saying dunce, maybe cannot read and spell correct, maybe cannot do things as people with full senses and ability to discern the name and so forth. Pick up the name as the good old saying was, if he see name on the ground, he can't pick it up. Now, when I saw the level of arrogance that was measured in, I don't want to say it, in the People's Parliament by the Prime Minister and other members of his government, it tells me two things. Cannot beat a man in the sense of words, education, ability to discern, and to correct mistakes. What comes to the fore is a high level of arrogance. Like you could cuff him down, you know that kind of thing. You like you're threatening him. If he don't do this, you will bust him out. That was the kind of feelings that was displayed in the Parliament, the highest body of our country, by the Prime Minister and other ministers of government. Now, this is not what I expect from people in inverted commas who is big shots. Because once you get into Parliament, you become automatically a big shot now. You have power in your hand. You could make and break. No, that's sending a bad signal to our people in this country. Real bad. Because you are automatically from the People's Parliament or the Parliament of the country, the highest body where arguments, facts, know-how will come out. And you displaying that, you are simply dividing the nation and say, you don't want to hear what he or she has to say as member of opposition. You don't care about them. So what you get on the ground, what you see on the ground is rubbing off from inside the highest body of our country. With high-profile decision has to be made benefit the people of our country. That is what is happening with the present administration. And it's good. It's not a good signal to send from this body because you're hearing them on all kind of programs When you call, people call on a program, they rebut and say, give them a chance. They just come in and they're so disrespectful. When all you was there, all you did this and all you did that. And they're quick to point fingers. It shows arrogance. Not doctor say respect. I say blatant disrespect for people in our country. And I don't think if they listen to themselves and their behavior, they will also understand what they were saying is not good enough to digest. Because Grenadians, the public, is digesting it. And as I will continue to advocate that you start with a lie, people cannot trust you when you start to lie for the nation, even before you get into government. You're lying. You get into government and you're still lying. You're lying about cabinet conclusion. You're lying about never happened, and you're just making people. But you're not talking about the insecurity of a number of members in your government. People who, I don't even want to say that part. People who do things and create confusion on the port of our country. It is hard for the nation.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 4407377. Where's my overseas line tonight? Yeah, it's clear. Where's my overseas callers tonight? Where are my overseas callers tonight? I think I got one. Yeah, I need some more. Hello, good night. Hello, caller, you're live. Hello. Hello. Okay, that person is not paying attention to the phone line. So we'll take this caller. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did Ron get the minister got?
I didn't hear what you said. A beep kind of erased it. Go ahead, tell me again.
Did Ron Redhead, did he get the same as the other ministers?
I believe all of them got. The only one who said that he did not take was the Prime Minister.
But then, if he got $2,000 amount together with his salary, he's still selling cars and vehicles on the use?
Listen, boss man, if you make a statement like that here and I can't prove it, I could end up in problems. There's an allegation.
This is.
He said I thought he was given a vehicle and he sell it. So well,
this is everybody. I know that is not his.
Yeah, I just like to be careful then because remember they want me bad, so I just have to be careful. So
all right. I just this guy's a question. It's just a question.
Of course, my brother. All right, no problem. We Papa, yeah. We have a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Just quiet for the night.
You see they're telling people that to close down the terminal by 8 o'clock in the night. So what happened to the workers who finish work around 7 and so? And they in Grand Anse or they up in St. Paul's or wherever. What happened to these people? That they find bus somewhere on the side of the road?
Sheldon, look at the government.
You should be looking to open the terminal later so that people willing to run later. But if you're telling everybody on the terminal that you're shutting down at 8, isn't it obvious that the buses would stop run by that point in time? You already have a problem on the West Coast.
Sheldon,
man,
looking at the government, having a serious conversation.
I don't like to look at them. I just take off my glasses. I ain't seen proper these days.
These people done for the last 8 or 9 months they are in power. What they really do? They're like a group of little children, Sheldon, who comes in a house and just want to rearrange the house, but does not know where to put the bed because the bed is already in the bedroom, and they want to rearrange the living room and the kitchen and everything. I said to little children, and they're just making mawet. They're looking for things to do. Even the bill that they went through yesterday, Sheldon, the way they approach it is not with reasoning to say, okay, well, let us send it to the Bar Association, to the other people, so that they could look at it and have consultation about it. No, they want to do something because they're not doing nothing. So they really want to do something. Here, what they're telling us is progress. Tell that. Let me look at it. They tell us when we clean up, take up all them old boat in Lagoon Road and everything, that is transformation and progress. I know real progress is when you're going Lagoon Road, when it was stinking, and you build a modern port where mega yachts and things could come and park there, and where economic benefits floats to the country, where employment is taking place right now, where people would go and buy and eat and sit, where you could have bash at the end of where you call old years and all them kind of thing. You could have bashment and all kind of thing there. A place where the citizens could really have economic activity. We're picking up old boat there, and we're picking up the electric vehicles along the road, and we say that is progress. Sheldon, what's the kind of thing that people call in progress?
But hold on a moment, because I tend to think a lot of us miss something in relation to that. While it is happening now, it is happening in spite of and not because of the NDC government. It is happening in spite of. In other words, if you take your mind back to before the election, this was something that was already in train. Remember, Mr. Kenny James and them had already passed there and put the tags on various boats and things to move. The process had started before. Then you had COVID and all of that, and it slowed down. And the process was about to begin again when the NNP lost office. So all of the boasting about what they're doing on Lagoon Road now, that was something that was already in train when they come in.
That, but they are calling it progress and transformation, beautification, and removing the lyric vehicle. It's something governments naturally supposed to do. What kind of economic benefit that bring into the country? And they take that as a big praise and say the guy in the south working real good that he's. Listen, Grenadians have to open their eye and understand the difference in what Dr. Mitchell has done, what the NNP has done, and what these people do, and what these people call in progress. These people don't really even understand what is progress. And I think if we continue to listen to these people, a country, and we must always remember that, cannot be run by slogans. I think what these people running Grenada with is slogans. They're making a big set of slogans, and they're just taking. So we will find them, Sheldon, doing a lot of things that will hurt people, and not just hurt people, but hurt the economy. They will try to change rules and go back to laws where people realize that the bus terminal, they will go back there and try to hurt people, to make people feel where we transfer. Look what they do in the market.
No, listen, my brother, you realize what's taking place there. That is the excuse to try and get to try it. They will try. They ain't go get you, but they go try. To try and get rid of people like Cammy and them.
Yes.
To get rid of them on the terminal. Because they find now Cammy is a information hub on the terminal. Whether you lose something, whether you find something, whether you want to leave a message for somebody, or whether it's a point of contact for something, they don't want that, so they're trying to get rid of Cammy and them. So that's why they come with all this talk about do hang out this and do hang out that. Let them play the touching Cammy, they go find out. They feel she alone.
Look at
they see us down there every day, they feel she alone. Go ahead, interfere with Cammy.
Look at Wall Street. It's good we understand to do some changes. But the way, Sheldon, they're taking this, the price where somebody will have to pay now is far different to whatever you were paying before. And the manner in how it's being done, it has a sense of bulliness in it. We doing this, and this is what we do, and we're moving this, and this has to be. Sheldon, little by little, Grenadians has given away their rights. And a lot of them, Sheldon, who has voted away their rights, they're there balling with their mouth closed. Because a lot of them is not pleased. The thing is being done, and in the manner how they're being treated. They're treated like second-class citizens, as people who doesn't have the rights to talk for their own rights. This place is transforming It is transforming. It is going through a stage of transformation. But I'm telling you, a lot of people is going to regret it and bawl because it is transforming in a manner to hurt people and to hurt a certain category of people. And by hurting that category of people, they're hurting the economy and they're even hurting people who they didn't even intend to hurt.
All right,
Tomorrow
caller.
night, Sheldon.
Thank you very much. Yeah, folks, that's my view in relation to what you're seeing on the letters that I put up there from the bus terminal. That is the intention. A, we had to get rid of Cammy. Remember Cammy talked the other day about some people in the Tonga St. George and all kind of things. The same people who they play, they come in and attack me. I imagine I see a NDC fella, the guy come up to me, he say, Sheldon, listen, don't get no tangle with them people and them boys. He say, nah, your class is way above. Though I NDC man meet man tell me that. He say, nah, don't get up with them. He say, don't go and get up with them thing with them people and them. Yeah? But what I'm saying here is that letter that is passed there is what they're going to use to try, not to get rid of it, to try to get rid of Cammy and them. So that's what they want to do. We have a caller online. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, Sheldon.
Hi, good night.
How are you?
I'm fine, as usual. Go right ahead. You're live.
Sheldon, I have a problem. Yeah, with information that you all give out. I'm not an NDC. Right? I'm not an NNP right now. I'm just a mutual person.
Mm-hmm.
You see the information you're giving out there concerning the bus terminal and no one to get rid of Cammy. Those things are nowhere true. Cammy does not do the terminal at 8 o'clock most of the time. Please, get your facts straight before you say what you're saying to the public so that the public will
okay, so hold on, no, hold on. Let's have a conversation. Don't run off. Don't make the statement and run off. I said what I believe the intention is.
That is not the intention.
You don't know that. Are you the person who issued the letter? Are you the person that issued the letter? Do you know the intent of the letter? Hello? No, don't run. Don't run. Stay and talk. Stay and talk. Let's have that conversation. Stay and talk. You did not issue the letter. That is exactly the intent of the letter. If you're talking about hanging up goods and so outside, Cammy does do that. Putting tables and different things outside, Cammy does do that. They even speak about selling alcoholic drinks over a certain percentage. While she may not be doing that, there are others that do that there. And I am saying, from my interpretation of what's taking place there, is she they want to get rid of. They're going to try. They ain't going to get through, but they go try. Let's take this caller. Good night.
Sheldon.
Yes, my dear.
Sheldon.
Yes, ma'am.
Sheldon, Scott, don't worry that woman. She called already and Shaggy this morning giving some kind of thing. Let me tell her. Let me tell that lady, let me tell you something. Lady, let me tell you something. Me mother than you know. I don't think they're on radio calling to pay me rent, you know. I don't think they're on radio begging people to give me nothing, you know. As an independent woman, lady.
And Cammy, hold on, eh? And they must know something. Grenada is a small place.
What a woman. What a woman. Woman, me mother on the ground. My last daughter is 28 years. She's an American citizen. And God is a citizen in America and one in England. And I still send me brother and pig in Grenada and send me children. We could talk to woman. Lady, hush your mouth. Hush your mouth, lady. I am speaking up for those people that don't have a voice and is terminal.
Of course.
I don't think all was terminal. You know what? Let me tell you that. Lady, I have a breath between me and
all right, Cammy. Let me figure that out.
Woman of, you know, before I go, Sheldon, let me notify the public who's listening, all who listening, tell others, don't bring your bag with marijuana and cocaine and put two on a rice and top of it. And that's why I get in letter. Because when I observe what's going on, I say, open the bag. Open the bag. You hear?
Well, we know the
I say,
setup.
open the bag.
We know the setup, and for the time they have to send.
You can do me nothing.
From the time they have to send one here, we know what's up.
Nothing. Trust me. Nothing. And listen, if I go, don't let me bust on you, bubble. Eh? Because I'm already on my phone. Don't let me bust on you, bubble. Somebody minister, somebody, don't let me bust on you, bubble. Don't let me bust on you, bubble. In Grenada, because the world goes to. Lady, are hungry. I'm not a hungry woman. Have a good night. And I love you still.
All right, Gabby, one thing people must understand, Grenada, this country, is a very small place. It's only roughly 100,000 of us in it at any point in time. And usually it's under that because we like to travel and go different places and come back and so on. So don't feel that you would call and somebody can't immediately identify your voice. Yeah, so don't try to give the impression that you is not a NDC when everybody know who you are. And then when you're being questioned, when you're confronted, you see, that is one of the, and is that people, that when you start to confront them, when they make their statement, you give them the opportunity to make their statement, and you start to confront them now, they run. Because they don't have the intellect, common sense, competency to be able to have that discussion with you. So they make their, and is that, the dunce statement and disappear. They can't continue a conversation with you. So I am saying that my interpretation, I'll say it again, my interpretation is that the intention is to try and get rid of people like Cami. They know that's the information hub on the terminal. That's the one that is not friendly to what they are doing to poor people. So their intention is to get rid of her. But I'm saying that if and when they try, they wouldn't get through. So if and when they try, they must know it's not she alone. It's a lot of we out here. All right? And no, I'm not giving only the lady number. No. I'm not doing it. What I might do is call her back and see if we get her. Because I had a number. I could call her back and get a number. You understand? We could try and call her and discuss that. You understand? And then she mentioned that I giving out wrong information about the e-bills. Folks, I sure you all were talking about, you know. I sure the individual that called never read the bill. Never. So you ask them, well, you the one that put the letter out? They can't answer you. They run. That's the kind of thing. But feel free to call back. We are willing to take your call. In fact, I want you to call back, and I want you to call back before the program ends. We have a call online. Good night.
Hey, Sheila, good night. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. Go right ahead. You're live.
Miss Kami, you don't worry about that. You don't worry about that at all. You grounded. And like I would always say, the song Shaka Shaka means you touch one, you touch all of we. They know who to go behind, but they don't go make it. Let me tell you something, Sheldon. In regards to what been going on yesterday, I'll go back to this parliament thing that's going on with that bill.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't understand that this thing will affect everybody. But the jumping on this thing is not for the personal man, it's for both the corporate people and both the big businesses.
Let me say it clear. And if let me say it clear here. The so-called Honorable Ron Redhead lie when you say that. The bill has applications to persons, not just to commercial interests. He lie. Pure and simple.
So
Go ahead.
The bill. I read the bill. I know MP, I read the bill and I understand the bill. So them could go to come and like I said, the disrespect that they have, they were so bent on being disrespectful that they miss what they were supposed to say. And being a minister of a certain ministry, when you get up to put your presentation, you're supposed to talk on what your ministry will do to protect its people. But them just jump personal. They went personal. Him, Kareem James, and I call him Honorable Kareem James, Stephen, and Ron. they went pretty far, and you see that, let it continue. Let you see how far they will reach. Because you know what happened? The inexperience will be the demise. And lastly, I watching the so-called town hall / I'll call it rally. And I just hear the minister for the Southern Judge talking about wash susu. And he pulled out $20 and telling people to put money in some susu and him. Well, I give. And a minister give $100. My God, there's some people in Grenada that can't even have a $20 or $10 in the pocket. And you want people to give them. Shall I have a good night, man?
All right, my brother. I'll see what they said later. Yeah, I'll see what they said. Oh, they're from Grenville and there's a big NDC. You know, that information come through. Yeah, we know. Yeah, don't worry. We had the number. We know who it is. Nice, good. We ain't calling the name on here and think just so now. We ain't gonna do that. We being nice tonight. So we being nice tonight. So we ain't calling out number. But we had the number in our 416 number. We had the number. We could call it out. But we ain't doing that tonight. We being nice. Right? Yeah. If you want to come here and accuse people of lying, you have to be able to defend your points. This is talking points. Yeah? Talking points. So if you come to talk, you have to have your points. Nice? Good. All right. 440-7377. That's the number to call and get on the inside. My other thing is that when I look at this part of it, the part about the closure, let me see if this is the right one. It's kind of small, and yeah, you know the guy eyesight in all that it used to be. So I can't. Let me make sure I have the right one up there. Yeah. Now I'm saying in 2023 Grenada, we should be looking at encouraging buses to run later, and therefore opening a facility like the terminal later. If you've got to encourage business and nightlife in Grenada, in the town and in the south, and other places as well, but mainly the town and the south, people need transportation. And as such, what you should be doing is trying to encourage businesses to stay open longer. If they stay open longer, then other people who may have had another job in the day could get a night job. People who are working and work late would be able to get something from a business that's open later. Every year at Christmas time, we usually see that in operation. When businesses stay open until late in the night and that kind of thing, so the staff would be able to get an extra piece of money. Yeah, and people who working otherwise, and so they would be able to access different services and goods and so later on. So I'm saying that instead of telling people that the terminal closing 8, what you ought to be doing is having discussions with those people, having discussion with the busmen and so, saying to the bus associations, we are going to open the terminal until 10 p.m. We're going to close at 10 p.m. I'm just using a time. I am not working on the terminal. I'm not one of the people with a booth there. I'm not one of the busmen. But from time to time, I end up being one of the people that are trying to get a bus to go home. Yeah? And as such, I know what it is like from that end. And I'm saying that the discussion should be, let us keep the facility open longer. That would be transformation. To transform it from closing 8 o'clock to opening later. To transform the bus system, to transform it from where you have things now, buses stop run by the time 7 o'clock a bus run. By the time for some areas 6 o'clock bus done run. By the time the place get dark, some bus they gone in. Instead of that you have a schedule with different buses working different nights for an extended period of time. So the fella that leave up in St. John and he take the bus down to town and he go on by his girlfriend in St. Paul's, he could spare a little extra hour instead of having to rush out now. He could stay a little extra hour by the girlfriend and be guaranteed that he gonna get a bus down to town and up to St. John. Instead of, that by 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, he had to be gone. Because other than that, he's not getting transportation to go where he needs to go. So the discussion shouldn't be If we're thinking and if we're using we cabeza, as a brother of mine like to say, if we're using up we cabeza, we're not supposed to be having the discussion about closing at 8, but finding ways of if closing at 8 should be continued or discontinued. Instead of telling people close up the boot at 8 and on Friday nights at 9, sometime 9 o'clock in town, ram at people. Ram. So then the buses have to go and break the law and park up at the side of the road and think to pick up people in town and risk getting tickets. Come on, man. We have to do things with a little bit of thought. Do things with common sense and a little bit of thought. And then you wouldn't end up in situations like that. Yeah? So that's my view in relation to it. Yeah? That's my view. If you like it, you'll like it. You don't like it, there's an off switch somewhere on the device that you're listening. You feel free to use it. But there's an off switch somewhere there. But I'm saying this is what needs to be done. All right? 440-7377. That's 440-7377. Let me just get this here. Yeah, just making sure I have my thing set up here. 440-7377. That's the number for you to get onto the inside. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hi, Sheldon. Good evening.
Good evening, Doc. How are you?
I'm good. Wonderful program as usual.
Thank you.
2 things quickly. Number one, I just want to say that if I deem somebody to be a walkover, I don't care what they do. I don't bother with them. But in my opinion, if all this attention is being given to attempt to disrespect the leader of the opposition, including making yourself look like the people will say look small, bringing disrespect to your own self, and having you not display the dignity and the honor that is required in the lower house. I mean, what else can we say but that the leader of the opposition is certainly a threat to these people? Because, like I say, if he was a walkover, that kind of display and attention would not be given. Mind you, it's wrong, but it does say something about who he is as well. So when we look at that, we not only look at what they did to disrespect themselves, but at whom it was directed. And it's because he is so important. Secondly, I think it was bad for us as a nation, because suppose colleagues, their political colleagues in other countries were onlooking what was going on. This is an embarrassment. This not only embarrassment to them, but to me, to my country. So I think it was in poor taste, and I really wish that this thing would stop. But this is my 2 cents on it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. And we have a little bit of time left. Yeah. So who want to call back? The lady could call back. You make sure and leave a little space for. I wonder if you should call. My finger itching to call, but nah. I ain't gonna call. Yeah. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. I had planned to have a guest on tomorrow night, but I'm putting that off simply because I want to ensure that I advertise for that particular guest. I want to advertise properly before I have them on. I was just getting a call there and I lost it. Come on. Yeah, I lost that call. Let me see the next one here. Let me see. Let me try here. Let me just see. And we have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hey bro.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hey, bro.
Solia.
Not bad.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, I get in the heat.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I'm trying to find out. Just how about the
One moment, I don't know if you're using a microphone or whatever it is, but you're sounding far away from the phone.
I tried to turn it off, but it didn't go off. So I'm getting it off now.
Well, yeah, I'm not hearing you clearly at all. Hello?
I'm getting it off now.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when people
Okay, you hear me now?
I'm hearing it the same way.
You hear me better?
I'm hearing it the same way. Like if you're away from the phone, like the phone is a distance away from you. So I don't know if it's a mic that you were trying to use or a headphone or whatever, but you may need to speak directly into the phone. Okay, we lost that caller. Yeah. If you're using a headphone for some reason from time to time, and you call the program, because of how our system is constructed, sometimes, in some instances, the audio doesn't come through clearly. And if I am not hearing you clearly on my end, I know that the listeners who are not hearing it as clear as I am would not be able to hear you. So that's the problem there. All right, so let's try again. Yeah, I think that's the same caller. Let me see. Yeah. Hello, good night.
Hey.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I think we're doing better now.
Yeah, much better.
I think we're doing better now.
Much better, yeah.
Yeah. Did we get the info, all the info on the accident yesterday?
No, that has not been released yet. That's if it might ever be released. We're still waiting on the cabinet conclusion. We're still waiting on the response in relation to Ron Redhead and the contracts through his office. We're still waiting on the responses in relation to those, so we might have a while to wait for this one.
But I wanted to find out basically if it was the GG's car involved in that.
No, not the GG.
How come
was the Prime Minister's car?
It was the GG.
The Prime Minister's car,
okay,
because what I thought was the crown is actually the coat of arms. So it's the official state car of the Prime Minister. Yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to know how we can make that gap from here to get into this car. What kind of a respect is that, that you cross over there? But okay, so they could work their deal out together.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Hello? Let me ask you, where were you March 13th, 1979?
March 13th, 1979, I was in Calis.
What you was doing in Calis, sir?
I ran away from camp, boy. I ran away from camp and I was going back in the camp the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And on my way in, I saw the fire and I heard all the commotions in there.
But weren't you supposed to be... weren't you on duty that night?
Yes, I was on duty and I walked right in the sentry that night. I walked right in the mouth that night.
So you was the man that nearly get take?
What? And I tell you, I was the last person get relief from the whole crew that night. I the last one. I'm the closest one to the base and the last one got relief. Because the guy that was coming to relieve me from St. David's, he said something in his guts. He just didn't want to come outside to work. He didn't want to come out. So I get out and I leave camp. I say something ain't right. So I wouldn't stay in camp tonight. And in the morning on my way back in, I saw the fire. I was going to Richmond Hill before I go back to camp. I was going to drop my girlfriend out to work and then come back down in camp. And when I was coming down the hill, coming from Frequente, coming down over the driving. Yeah. I saw the fire and I heard the commotion and I saw the things going on. So I went back to go in by, well, they change up down there so much now. By PM Garden, I think there's somewhere where Andrews them used to live there. There was a road in the back there to cut back into True Blue. And while crossing that street there, somebody stayed on top and they opened fire. Saw the tracers coming down the road. And I don't know how I get out from in the middle of the road there, but it was like a somersault back in over the road. And I went back on the other side and tried to connect with the guys them in camp, but wait and nothing happened. So that was before they get rid of Brizan.
Okay. So,
yeah.
what did you do immediately after?
Well, I just sit down there, sit out and waiting to see if I get support because they said that PM said that he was going to get help from on the outside coming in. So we wait around for days and We didn't get no reinforcements, so everybody just took their stuff and they moved.
Mm-hmm. Also, you soldiers who were in the Grenada army at the time of the overthrow, some of you all were still waiting to see if other forces would come to meet with you all.
Get reinforcement.
Okay.
Yep.
Where were you all doing that though? You all had a location you meet
just
up
in the
also?
neighborhood. No, in the neighborhood. In the neighborhood, just in the neighborhood, surrounding the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, just in the neighborhood.
All right.
You know.
It's just
interesting. That time communication get around.
Yeah.
Communication get around at that time, but we had a way of making contact with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. And none. It so happened, thank God, that none of the folks that was active in there got a scratch. Not a scratch, not even from Africa. Not a scratch. But then the folks that got killed is who was coming in to help. Like Brizan coming in, the police officers coming in, they got killed. And the next thing is that what I have a problem with them saying about it was a bloodless revolution. And I think that's false periodically, not periodically, but period. That's false, a false statement, because Brizan life was something, the policeman life was something else, and the blood was spilled. So it was not a bloodless.
Okay.
So blood was spilled on the revolution. Yep.
All
yep.
right.
So
don't worry, I'll be contacting you to do a full program very soon because we're out of time. But I'll be contacting you to do a full program very soon because I've heard from the other side, the ones who attacked the facility. But I haven't heard before from somebody who was in the facility and you were the sentry. Well, not at the time of the attack, but you were the sentry just before.
Yes, just a couple of hours before.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, sir. And we're going to be speaking soon again.
All right, take it easy.
All right, thank you.
Keep the blood pressure normal.
Okay, my boy.
All right, okay. All right.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, that's one of my good friends there. Was a former, no, not Mongoose Gang. He was a member of the army. Yeah, he was a member of the army. Yeah, so folks, let me say this before I close off tonight. It is very important for us to understand what is taking place in Grenada. And it's important for us to also understand the steps and the measures that are being taken to silence us, not just me, this is not just about me, to silence us and to create a state of fear within our country. The time is coming very, very, very soon when we may have to take action and not just speak about these words, these things. Where, as I said last night, I might have to go in Brighton and Miners and get my Bristol board. I might have to make sure that I have my walking shoes. You understand? I will get my Glenelg water. I ain't drinking here. Me and no transformation water. Get me my water and thing. And organize myself. And I think all of you would be willing as well to organize yourselves and beat the street or wherever we have to go to ensure that the government starts to listen. They can go and put themselves in an echo chamber tonight as much as they want. You know, it's an echo chamber? When you're basically speaking to yourself. So the so-called town hall tonight / NDC meeting, NDC mini rally, because that meeting had more people than the rally that they had the other day. Yeah? That echo chamber that they go into, listening to themselves, listening to the messages that they throw out to their own supporters coming back to themselves and patting themselves on the back and feeling good about it, is not the reality of what is taking place in Grenada right now. The people who are going for surgery at the General Hospital and being scheduled further and further down and being told, it's not that they're just being scheduled down or that they're being told that it is because they don't have medication to deal with their issues. The people who are at the hospital right now and have to get a relative to try and run out and buy some medication for them and bring back because it's not available. Yeah? The people who were getting their money under the NNP and have been taken totally off of the public assistance or have had it reduced if they're still receiving by $150. That's not their reality. That's not the reality of the busmen who are going through what they're going through right now, of the workers in the ministries who are going through what they're going through right now and have to grin and smile because they have to keep their job. They have the kids to see about. They have the children. They have the stuff to see about. So they have to grin and smile. But the reality of what is going on with them is different to what the government is putting out there. So they can try all the shenanigans and all the echo chambers as much as they want and speak to themselves in that echo chamber and think that they're making sense. But election day going to give them a reality check. And every sun that set is one day closer to that election day, that judgment day on the things that they're doing to the poor and vulnerable people now, be it the people under faith, the people under faith who they still refuse to pay up to this day. Be it those people, be it the people who were getting houses in Karakou and who were so happy and elated and jubilant, only to be told now, hey, nah, you ain't getting it again. Their reality is different to the reality that the NDC is preaching there right now. So again, they can go in their echo chambers and they could shout and hear their voice bouncing around and feel nice about it. But it's not the reality out here in Grenada. Ask the vendors in the street. Ask the busmen how much people are to come and ask for a ride on a daily basis. Ask the hundreds of people that have been sent home from all different places since this administration has come into office. Their reality might have been the people who are working for the $5, $6, $7, $8, and $9,000 in the Ministry of Implementation and Transformation. The information that they refuse to present in Parliament. They're refusing to give it. It's being asked and they're refusing to give it. And using all kind of means of circumventing giving the salaries of people that are working with the government of Grenada that they have hired since June the 23rd, 2022. They keep refusing to present that information. They don't want to give the list of people and how much each person is working for and where they're working and their duties. They refuse to give that. That's public information. That's not private information. Then when information comes out and two people, their information comes out, they want to get upset. What they say? They call in FIU, they call in this, they call in that, all sorts of things to find out who sent information and who this and who the other. That's the sort of thing that is taking place with those individuals right now. So they're trying to project another reality. So they're running around with camera crew, taping things left, right, and center all over the place. Taping things here, there, everywhere. But they think that's the problem they have. They go learn the problem they have when the time comes. Don't worry. They go learn, and they go learn the hard way. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. Yeah, it's been wonderful being here with you all. And in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you unconditionally. Right, I'm out of here and take care of yourselves. Nice? I am out.
Balling motor, while some others mad. The people they vote for shirting them bad. They just feel to cost them when they see them pass. Or just take a big stone and knock down their ass. But I have a therapy I'm willing to share. Anytime the pressure get too much to bear, I have a new dance, it is the formula. Once you do it, I know you must feel better. So give me a minute or two, let me explain the dance to you. Just a simple demonstration, it is very easy to learn. Put your hand in the air like this, close your finger and make a fist. Let go your tongue, put it in the air. Wave it like you ain't care. Anytime you see them MP, do it for them to see. And if they ask you what that means, tell them the dance you're doing is one term. One term. I want all you to take a chance. Show them the one thumb dance. One thumb. One thumb. Put your thumb up and then balance. Show them the one thumb dance.